Hi, this is Decimal, and today I want to talk about the Swarm. The Swarm is a super saw oscillator synth with 8-note polyphony, onboard effects, a filter, an arpeggiator, and more. Quick disclosure, the Swarm was sent over to me by Artium Instruments for review, but they have no say in the content of this video, so let's get into it. The Swarm has two different modes, polyphonic mode and arpeggiator mode. For now, I'll be in poly mode. The modes can be switched using this switch. In poly mode, you have 8-note polyphony. The Swarm has a 4-pole low-pass filter with some resonance. It also has a detune knob, which makes things very interesting. The detune applies a frequency offset to the waveform, leading to some lush sounds, which can get a bit wild when maxed out, but I'm loving this detune knob. It also has an attack and release knob to control the envelope. When it comes to onboard effects, the Swarm has a delay. The length of the delay synchronizes with the arpeggiator clock. There is also a multiplier knob, which gives subdivisions to the delay that complements the sync arpeggiator. The reverb is stereo, and you control it with a single knob that controls both the mix and the decay. The reverb can get quite huge. There's also a 4-voice stereo chorus with a gradual shifting LFO that really gives some interesting dynamics to the synth. The cool thing is that the Swarm actually acts as a stereo pedal with 2 ins and 2 outs. One of the more unique effects on the Swarm is the freeze effect. When active, it will record 1000 millisecond sample of audio that's being played. Then it will layer and drone in the background infinitely. You can then use the freeze knob to set the level of this drone. If you want to clear the drone, put the freeze knob to 0 and press the yellow pad. Now it's time to check out the arpeggiator. Hold will store all the notes played in memory. The direction will switch the arpeggiator. You have up, down, seesaw, random, and ordered played. Octave selects the number of octaves played by the arpeggiator. Clock has 2 functions, the speed of the arpeggiator and the delay clock. Clock toggle switches between manual clock and tap tempo from the yellow pad. I also want to mention that you can switch the octave with the button on the back. Now let's try out the Swarm as a pedal with the Big Fun toy synthesizer. What better way to show off these effects than with one of the festive stock songs on the Big Fun? The Swarm can make this cheap synth sound pretty good by using the effects only. I want to go inside the synth and see what makes it work. By looking inside, I can tell a lot of effort went into the design of this synth. Also look, there's a kitty printed on the board.
Meow. Meow. Meow.
So what are my thoughts on the synth? Well, I think this synth sounds pretty good. The sounds can get pretty huge, especially when using the effects and the detune knob. I think that's some of the highlights of this synthesizer. I like the effects quite a bit, although the delay is a little weird because of the way it works with the clock sync. I love the reverb in the chorus, and the freeze effects is also really nice too. I just think the delay is a little weird. When it comes to the arpeggiator, I think it's fine. The only thing is, for me personally, I don't necessarily like onboard arpeggiators. So the thing is, I like standalone devices that kind of send sequences or arpeggiators to The Swarm, I'm glad it has it built in, but for me personally, I don't see myself using it very often. Some people might want more control over the filter, but I'm perfectly content with what the Swarm has. It's easy, it's simple to use, and it gets the job done, so I have no issue with that. Another complaint that people might have is the fact that you only have control of the attack and the release, but I'm okay with that as well. I think it's perfectly fine, especially for a synth that has one knob per function in a smaller form factor. Now, the last thing to note is about the MIDI input. So this does not have a standard DIN input or even a TRS. You need to use a USB-C or a USB-C adapter. It works perfectly fine with the Launchpad Pro. I've had no issues with it and I love it in that way because it also powers it as well. You can also use the key step, but you will need to use an adapter that it comes with. Now, the Swarm is made by a small company. I believe it's only one person, and I really do think that they have a great vision when it comes to this device. So if you guys want to support them, I'll leave a link in the description for where you can get the Swarm. What do you guys think of this video? Let me know in the comments down below, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.